What's going on, Internet? Nerdlocker.com here for this week's comic book reviews. And I'm starting off with Guardians of the Galaxy number 20. It's the last issue in the Original Sin tie-in, which is great because it's coming out a month after Original Sin. But anyways, we get an answer to where is Richard Rider, and apparently he's dead? I don't know. It kind of ends with like, okay, well, this is what happened, but I doubt it is because, you know, it's Marvel and everyone comes back every 8 months. No one stays dead or no one remains the mantle they've taken up. Either way, it was a good story. As much as I was excited at the beginning of this storyline, I'm kind of the end. I'm like, all right, well, it didn't work out how I wanted it. Maybe it's just because I wanted there to still be like a glimmer of hope that Richard Rider's there, and I mean, I'm sure there is, but it wasn't addressed in this book. It looks like it's done. But either way, Guardians has still been a fun book. I'm giving this issue 3 out of 5 Nerd Skulls. I can't wait for the next storyline, the symbiote thing with Venom, so I'm just looking forward to that.
All right, guys, gonna be here with my reviews for this week. I got to do Axis Revolutions number 1, and honestly, pointless. Because it takes characters that are in the story already, taking them out of where the story has been taking place, and then putting them in somewhere else, which honestly isn't that big of a deal, but like the characterizations of everyone is just kind of off from where I'm used to. The Spider-Man story is not different for Spider-Man, but it's way preachy, and it's way like taking it down a notch for Spider-Man even, I feel. I don't know. None of these stories really grasped me and got me going. The art was cool for a little bit, but the Doctor Strange book I just felt was really weird. It was very out of place for what I imagine Doctor Strange to be usually, how he's supposed to be in a sense, and how they made him and the way the world works and stuff like that. It was just kind of, just didn't fit with me in what I have as a preconceived notion for what that person should be. So I was not happy with it at all. I was hoping it was going to be awesome as Axis, but it's not. It's kind of like pointless. So I'm going to give it 2 out of 5 Nerd Skulls for being a good effort, but not the worst, but not good.
Hey fellow nerds, Jasper here, and I just got done reading Harley Quinn Annual Issue 1. I didn't necessarily like the book due to the fact that it was all over the place. You go into like the middle section of the book as the very beginning, and then they backpedal and explain the events leading up to that portion of the book. They then lead into 4 different storylines, 2 perspectives from Harley Quinn and Poison Ivy, the other 2 from the Arkham Asylum employees. The payoff or the end result wasn't really worth everything in its entirety, and with that, I'm only giving it a 2 out of 5 Nerd Skulls.
All right, guys, I got to read Wonder Woman number 35. Azzarello's run is at an end here, and what an outstanding, amazing run he had. This is by far the best Wonder Woman story I've ever read. The artwork has always been outstanding, even when it wasn't Cliff Chang. But they finish it out here. It's kind of sad because, you know, they're handing it off, and I'm sure David Finch and his wife will be doing, you know, good things. But this is definitely a story that I'm going to remember for a long time. Definitely a story I'm always going to tell people to check out and read. The ending, it's just great. Everything comes full circle. It's really cool. Just the idea they had to change Wonder Woman's origin and do what they did with this is outstanding. I can't recommend this book enough to people. Make sure you read his whole run. This was great. I give the ending 5 out of 5 Nerd Skulls.
All right, guys. So I got to read Future's End, number 26, and we're at the halfway point, so that's sweet. And something happens, a couple things happen in this where I felt it was going to be a very, very weak book, a very, it almost felt like it was going to be low-key, but it was not. It was actually very, not action-packed, but very motivating, very like, whoa, I want to see where this goes. There's people that show up you hadn't seen yet, finally shows up. It's really cool the way they handled it. I can almost imagine this as working as a TV show or a series of movies kind of thing. Like, it's very cinematic. It works very well as a story that keeps going episodically. Like, it's nice to keep up with this and not have to like wait a month and like lose interest in it. It's like every week you have something new coming at you. So I'm enjoying it. It's a slow burn kind of a book, but it's enjoyable. So I'm gonna give it 4 out of 5 Nerd Skulls.
All right, guys, I got to read Batman Eternal number 30. We get the kind of end of this. I don't know if it's an end because it feels like there's still a lot to do here. Although the big bad part of Arkham is over, there's a lot of rebuilding, and there's some very important people down at the bottom of this Arkham mess. If you read Arkham Manor, you maybe understand now why it's Arkham Manor, and without giving too much away. But this is great. I mean, at first I was like, man, this feels kind of rushed. They're just ending this whole Arkham storyline, but there's a lot more going on. There's a lot more that can happen, and hopefully does happen. And this has just been a great weekly series. I didn't think, giving a character a weekly series was going to pay off, but so far this has, and I love it. I'm giving this 5 out of 5 Nerd Skulls. All right, guys, I got to read Deathlock number 1. Now, let it be known, although I have read comics, most of my life here, all of my life, I haven't really gotten into Deathlock. He's always kind of just been that character that's there. Decided to give this a shot, and it works from an espionage sort of like dark military book. But those don't always seem to catch on with Marvel. So I'm interested to see how long this takes, what the fans think. I know they're doing a lot of stuff with the S.H.I.E.L.D. show and trying to integrate different characters and different stuff like that. So check this book out. Let me know what you thought. Wasn't a bad first issue, but I'll give it another shot. I'm going to give this 3 out of 5 Nerd Skulls.
Hey guys, Brandon from Nerdlocker here, and if you like the review you just saw, why don't you check out some more of our reviews over here, right on the side, through the magic of editing.